Hello and welcome to the Limbury Theatre here at the Royal Opera House. My name is Antonio Pappano and I'm very happy to be here with Yaritza Véliz and Richard Hetherington at the piano. And this is a new initiative that we've started here at the Royal Opera House, these masterclasses with the Jette Parker Young Artists. And we're going to be performing some ravishing music now, aren't we? Well, you are, I'm not. But yes, the two Mimì arias from Puccini's La Bohème. Beloved pieces they are both. Interestingly enough, using some of the same music, but in a very, very different way. Mimì is a young seamstress. She's tubercular, so she's quite ill. She comes downstairs to the garret below to ask her neighbors for a light. Her candle has gone out and it's very cold, but she's looking for human contact, for company. She's one of the greatest creations of Puccini, and in this aria, Mi chiamano Mimì, it's her visiting card basically. She tells us about herself after the tenor's passionate outpouring of his story. This is written in a very, very different way, in a very natural and almost as if she's making it up on the spot. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And then there's a payoff in the middle of the first aria that is incredible. Anyway, Yaritza, here we go.
gridora importunare.
Lovely, lovely. You have such a wonderful color in your voice for this music. It's so natural, beautiful. I talked about, when I introduced the aria, I talked about how you're telling us about yourself. Mm-hmm. But there's a certain shyness. One introduces, you start by telling your name, and then you make a little joke. People call me Mimì, but my real name is Lucia. Let's say Lucia as if it were the most common name in the world. Mm-hmm. But Mimì sets you apart, doesn't it? Then you say, my story is actually a very short one. Yeah. I embroider on canvas and on silk little flowers. Yeah. And I'm tranquil and I'm happy, and my hobby is to make little is to make lilies and roses. Yeah. That's my favorite plants. And I like then you start to become a little bit more poetic. I like those things that have a sweet mystery, magic, malia, that speak of love, of springtime. Okay? Yes. So I want to investigate a little bit each of these little details of text and singing. So the orchestra just plays this note, waiting for you to, you must have been affected, of course, by this outpouring of the tenor, his famous aria, when you're looking for the key, and he touches your hand and he says, "Oh, your hand is freezing," and then he tells you his life story. So for a moment there's a hesitation, and your first word is yes, and then you create a phrase. Yeah. Okay. Okay. One of the important things of Puccini's writing is how close it is, actually, the shape of his music, how close it is to actually how we would say the words. He shares this very much with Strauss. Richard Strauss would say, people would ask him, what are the tempi? The tempo is the speech tempo. Yeah. So you don't say mi chiamano, you say mi chiamano. So give it a natural shape of the language. Yeah. Okay? Try that. Yeah. Try. Now, be careful. When you descend, chiamano, you portamento up, you glide up to the note. But when you come down, mi, be careful not to drop, the pitch. Yeah. And especially because the word, it's a cute name, Mimì. It's not Mimì. It doesn't sink. It's Mimì, okay? Yeah. Okay. To be so loud at the end. Ma il mio nome, Lucia. Yeah. But your shaping now was much more convincing. I helped a little bit with the conducting, but you need to be able to do that on your own. Show me. Yeah. Orchestra has the tune. You have to speak. So tell me your story. Boom. ricamo in casa e fuori.
Yeah.
Not ricamo in casa e fuori. Don't let it get square. The
Yeah.
Italian language is many things, but it's not square ever. Do that again. Find the naturalness. Let him rhapsodize. You know, these beautiful embroidery, the refinement of the music, but you just telling. Here we go. No, I hear the first couple of notes are foggy. La storia. Communicate. Talk to me.
La storia mia è breve.
Don't need to be loud.
A te la seta ricamo in casa e fuori.
There's another hesitation. And you continue.
Son tranquillo
And?
ed mio svago fargili rose.
Yeah, you did it because I went like this. Yeah. But listen why you need to get a special color. Play the chords. Listen to the seventh chord.
Yes.
Okay? So, and it's my hobby.
Mio svago fargili rose.
Lovely. Now you're ready to go into the poetic world.
Mi piaccion quelle cose che ansi dolce
Yeah. So, never, even in music that is just simply steady in 4/4 time, mi piaccion still with the language.
Yeah.
Che ansi, if you have to speak this language, che ansi dolce malia. You don't go, che ansi dolce malia, che ansi dolce malia. That have I love those things that have a sweet magic.
Yeah.
Come on. Mi piaccio. Don't follow the piano. He'll go with you. Do the language.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, why don't you, it goes to the minor here. Da 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 dum. Yeah, it's personal, it's private.
Yes.
So no, che ansi dolce, I wouldn't come out
Yes.
because you're going to go up and the phrase is going to build. But if you do that right away, you've given away
Yes.
what's coming. Come on, mi pia. Great. Inspired by the chords. Keep going. They speak of love, of springtime. Open. Yeah, and do not too slow. Da da da.
Arabi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Now I started to see Mimì and what's behind the exterior. That's fabulous. Really sensational. Do Chi ansi dolce malia? No, do it again. Come on, mi piaccio. New color. No, listen. Chi ansi dolce, dolce. You use the sweet, the L for the sweetness. Dolce.
Yeah.
Otherwise, chi ansi dolce, dolce. Little portamento even. Get right on it. Chi ansi dolce. One. Yes. Magic. Double going. Too long. Da da da. That's your inspiration. You come back to the minor. You hear his trills. But at springtime. Things that speak of dreams. Yeah. So things that speak of dreams and of chimeras, of things that are elusive, things that we can't touch, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that needs a special placement, that word. Because you've said a special word already, dreams. But this one is even more. From this magic chord, the B minor. So. Now, if you do the di.
Yes.
Okay. You're writing everything down, so you remember it. Okay. That's good. That's good. Good sign. A magic chord is zoom. And isn't there a portamento there written? Thank you. One more time. Magic chord. To that. Those things. What? Yes, poetry. And he's quite moved. You hear me? No, now speak.
Yeah.
He says, yes. Now here's the slowest version of the tune. You hesitate. Good. Why? No, that's good. Why am I called Mimì? I don't know. But why so loud? Il perché. Come on. Now you describe for us your domestic situation. Sola mi fo. I make my meal alone, and I don't always go to mass, but I pray a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Sola mi fo. Domestic at home.
Sola mi fo il pranzo da me stessa e non vado sempre a messa.
Non va. You're doing va. There's a little.
Yes.
Okay.
Sola mi fo il pranzo da me stessa e non vado sempre a messa.
You have to work on that. Go ahead.
Ma prego assai, Signor. Vivo sola, soletta.
Okay. This line is much discussed because after you're saying you pray a lot, you say without orchestra, I live alone, all alone.
Yes.
Now, some people say that she's coming on to him a little bit, that she's flirting. And that might be true, and that's fine, but it has to be ever so subtle. What you're doing now is, you're doing, Ma prego assai il Signor, vivo sola. Yeah, and that's yes. It's got to be almost whispered. Vivo sola, sole, especially soletta. It's like a diminutive of sola. It's all by my pretty self. I live all alone. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Ma prego assai. I pray a lot.
Ma prego assai, Signor. Vivo sola.
Sola is too short. Vivo sola.
Vivo sola, soletta.
No, soletta.
Yes.
Like speech. You don't say soletta, you say soletta. So important in Puccini. Come on. Vivo
sola, soletta.
Good, and look at those two words. Sola, when we say it, the first vowel is long, isn't it?
Yes.
So sing it. Vivo
Vivo sola, soletta,
soletta.
soletta.
There you go.
Yes.
And you, yeah, and then you jump in. You've created this moment of maybe flirtation, and then you jump back in.
Yeah.
So, ma prego assai,
Signor, vivo sola, soletta. Là in una bianca cameretta guardo sui tetti
Okay, very good. So, I have my little white room, and I can look over the rooftops and into the sky, and that's the moment of transformation
Yes.
that changes you into this. Because for you, when you get that first sun of April after the ice melts,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the first sun is yours because you live on the top floor.
Yes.
Okay? So, do the second domestic part. Vivos là in una bianca. I live in a white room.
Là in una bianca cameretta guardo sui tetti
Yeah. Very good. Very good. We have to work on that. Angel. Your support needs to be underneath you, yeah? A little bit better. Because the notes were just a little shaky, yeah? But remember what we said about the language, what we've been saying. And as we've gone on, your shaping of the language has gotten so naturally Italian. It's wonderful. Here, again, ma quando vien los yeux, needs shaping. Otherwise, it becomes very square. Okay? So, do for me, la in una bianca. One more time. This transition is so important. Come on.
Là in una bianca cameretta guardo sui tetti
Not too soft. Don't do that little portamento. Don't add a note. In cielo. It's not good. In cielo. Better. Now breathe in magic. Breathe in magic. Shape these phrases.
quando vien lo cielo.
What happens when the thaw comes? Saying, shape it. Now even more. Go. Keep going. Yeah, don't put a fermata there. You can stretch it, but don't stop there. Because the key word is not the sun is, but the sun is mine.
Yes.
Mio, and you must double the M. You get an explosion. The world is yours.
Yes.
Okay? So go from il primo bacio dell'aprile. Listen to the magic chord with intense expression. It's mine. Now there's a little fermata, there's a little stop, and you wake up like out of a dream. And then you speak again. Yeah, this is very important, this moment, because you've gone too far, right? You met him 2 minutes ago,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you've just revealed yourself. And so you come back into that shire. You describe now, germoglio, how a rose buds in a little vase, and you look at it. You look at it closely, okay? Because it's so genteel and it has the perfume of a flower. But unfortunately, the flowers that I make, that I embroider, are fake. They're not real, okay? So there's a little tragedy in there. It's little, minute, okay? But so play the magic chord, Bloom, the E sharp. As if you suddenly wake up. Yeah, and this is very close to speech. He puts in the score agitando un poco. So the music moves a little bit. Yeah. You've already sung da 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 near the beginning. This is da da. You find an enthusiasm for the subject. Come on, germoglia.
Germoglia in un vaso una rosa.
Here's a bing.
Foglia, foglia, la
bing.
stia.
Così gentile. The perfume of a This moment, you need to really concentrate. You can't throw this moment away. Yeah. The flowers that I make are not real. They don't have perfume. Melancholy. Keep the atmosphere. He sighs. He listens to you. And now the most unexpected ending of any aria ever written. Instead of that being the end of it, you say, I don't know what else to say about me. I'm your neighbor and I come at an inopportune time to disturb you. I'm sorry. But this is really speech now. We've had different sort of forms of speech, different speeds, but now this is really speaking. Mm-hmm. So, boom, boom.
Altro di me non le saprei narrare, sono la sua vicina che la vien fuori d'ora importunare.
Yeah. So, you know, you have long vowels in Italian, right? But long vowels in Italian, you have to find the way to sing them and speak them. So what you're doing is this. Altro di me non le saprei narrare, sono la sua vicina che la vien fuori d'ora importunare. Even. Altro di me non le saprei narrare, sono la sua vicina che la vien fuori d'ora importunare. You see, I'm a little bit more fluid. If you pick up the tempo a little bit, you'd get a natural fluidity, just the D majors. Yeah? No, you're stopping on altro and me, you're stopping.
Altro di me non le saprei narrare, sono la sua vicina che la vien fuori d'ora importunare.
So, fuori d'ora, in other words, at a wrong moment, actually. I've come at a bad time to disturb you. Altro di me non saprei narrare, sono la sua vicina, your neighbor, la sua vicina che la vien fuori d'ora fuori d'ora. That's the regret, okay? One more time.
che la vien fuori d'ora importunare.
Great, I love that little shoulder move. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
Tunare. Good. Now, look, Yaritza, we've worked on a tremendous number of details, but they all have to do with what I think the text is asking and what the music and how the changes of color. So your job now is to put that all together. It's easy for me to take it apart and make all the details. But if you can get all those thoughts clear in your mind and drive the car a little bit, in other words, you sing in the speed of the language, is what I mean by that. And you'll be even more natural in that because you have the right color voice, you have the right size of voice, which is great for this. Can't be too small because the orchestra is quite big. Now let's move on to the third act aria. By this point, you are very, very sick. And as, it is opera. You will have fallen in love with the tenor and he with you in that first act. But at this point in Act 3, the relationship has gone very, very sour. He's jealous of anybody you look at. He says some really ugly things to his friend Marcello about you. You say to Marcello that I feel that he's even spying on my dreams.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thought. Spiarmi sogni in viso. Like he looks at my face and he imagines all kinds of things that I'm, But you are very, very sick, and this is what's driving Rodolfo really crazy, is that he's poor and he can't help you, and you're living in an apartment where the north wind is going through there and it's freezing cold and he doesn't know what to do, and your cough is really, really bad. And so you hear him say that you're going to die. You overhear his conversation with Marcello. You come out and you say, you decide that it's time that they actually break up, that you should return to the place where you were originally at the beginning of the opera, and to the place where his cry of love called you out from. Yeah? Okay? You will return alone, and there's a key note there, to your lonely nest, you call it, al solitario nido. Yeah? You will return again to embroider flowers. And you say goodbye without regret, senza rancor. Listen. And now this is wonderful about this aria, because you're telling him, as with every breakup, the painful, getting your things from the other person's apartment, and it's terrible. And you describe this, put them all in I left some things. Get them together. I've got a little ring in the little box that I left and a prayer book, and put them all together in an apron, and I'll send the concierge, the porter, to come and get them. But you say, take care. Underneath the pillow is the little red bonnet. That's the little red bonnet which he bought for you. And you say, if you want, and you repeat it, if you want, se vuoi serbarla, if you want to keep it as a memory of our love. And then she repeats the word goodbye, goodbye, without regret. It's amazing, amazing thing. It's so personal, so touching, and yet so simple. So we'll hear a different version of the Mimì theme, and you speak above it. Okay? Here we go.
So
wonderful B flat. I know, fantastic. So, this aria is difficult to express because the situation is painful. So even though you're trying to be kind and you're not screaming at him, or you know, it should never really get happy. And I saw a strange smile on your face when you say, "I'm going to return all alone to the place." And I wasn't sure what you were expressing there. So I want to look at that, how specific you need to be. So I'm donde lieta uscì al tuo, where I happily came out of, I'm going to return. Okay? Where from my little nest, my lonely nest, where I return to your cry of love, I'm going to return. And I'm going to return alone. Okay, so let's do the beginning. Maybe you're sick. Beautiful. Not sola, sola. But beautiful. That had a concentration and a focus that was exactly right for this moment. Torna. But don't double the L. Sola, not sola, sola.
Yes.
It's a melancholy to this note. It's very sad. You're still hitting the L.
Yes. Once more.
Say it once.
Sola mi mi.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now, you take the breath. Torna sola mi mi, but you must join it to the next thought.
Yeah.
Na sola mi mi al sol, as if you weren't taking a breath.
Yeah.
Okay? One more time. Yeah, it's good. Torna sola, not sola. The so is too long. Sola mi mi. Okay, one more time. Ritorno. Ein tesser, lots of S. Speaking. Listen to me. Brava. Gather the things up. Robe, not robbe. Robe. Yeah. Very good. That has a quality now, very intimate quality. Okay, that's fantastic. Ascolta. No, yeah, but ascolta. Remember, you're saying it to him. Good shaping. You hear the music from Act 1 there. Yeah, so it's not happy. They're just, you're trying not to cry. You know, when there's a painful human relationship, you know, that you're trying not to cry, so you're almost smiling through the almost tears.
Yeah.
That quality. Come on. Ascolta, ascolta.
Ascolta, ascolta.
Remember your speech rhythms. Remember your speech rhythms.
Yes.
Ascolta, ascolta. Le poche roghe ad una che lasciai sparse. Nel mio cassetto stan chiuse quel cerchietto d'oro, il libro di preghiere.
It's fine. It's great. Wrap them up in an apron.
Involgi tutto quanto.
Yeah. Now that portamento. The words are not the inspiration, because you wouldn't that inspiration of the for saying wrap up my things in an apron. That's not so poetic. So it must be something that you feel, the regret, that almost crying, that creates that. Yeah. Involgi tu.
Involgi tutto quanto in un grembiale manderò il portiere.
Yeah, something like that can work. Now here's the surprise. This is what we don't expect. Wonderful.
Sotto il guanciale la cuffietta
The bonnet. And the orchestra crescendos, se vuoi. Yeah. Now, careful. Your vowel, se vuoi, is too much ah. Se vuoi, because it's a little bit under.
Yeah.
Okay, and go with the orchestra here. Richard's now crescendoing. 1. From there. If you want to keep it. Now shape it. Hold on. So you're making a diminuendo. In other words, you're filing the voice down to get softer. Use your body to help you do that, not your throat. So in other words, your diaphragm support, right? As you go as you sing that note, be more aware of your body.
Yeah.
Don't hold it with your throat. But did you see how you shaped that phrase up to the B flat? Mm-hmm. That's always se vuoi serbare from the G natural, Richard. Se vuoi serbare.
Se vuoi
If
serbare.
Se vuoi.
Se vuoi serbare.
Fabulous. The orchestra sings, you can't sing. Without regret. Concentrate. Good girl. Yeah. Again, lots of detail.
Yes.
Completely different than the first aria. Lots to think about, but you need to put it together now.
Yes.
One thing I want to tell you, which is very important, when you breathe in the tempo you're going to sing. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, if you play the introduction to this aria, Richard, sometimes the tendency is to do this. To breathe half an hour before. I'm exaggerating. Breathe. I'll show you. Don't breathe. be freer. And you do that with every phrase, because then you'll be in it more. Sometimes you tend to breathe a little bit too early, and then you've got all this air, and air gets stagnant very quickly. It needs to be used.
Yes.
Okay? Great, but beautiful. You have wonderful sentiment and gorgeous quality. Thank you very much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Bravo, the two of you.